Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I plan on reviewing a film that was created during the Wild West of the late 80s to early 90s media. Yeah, we all know the kind of things made then were strange to say the least.
Come on, guys! I thought you knew better, don't copy that floppy!
The movie in question, Cool as Ice, also stars a person who was mentioned on my channel a long time ago, thanks to his interesting covers of his own music.
Stop! Collaborate and listen! Ice is back, I got a brand new invention! Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon, daily and nightly. Will it ever stop, yo?
Anyways, is Cool as Ice as bad as one would think? Let's find out. Without further ado, on with the review.
Polos is life, 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 sleep all night and then Polos is life.
Cool as Ice, the movie where Vanilla Ice decided to roleplay as an actor. I first discovered Cool as Ice when I watched JonTron's review of it back in 2017, and from what I remember, I wasn't too impressed with what I saw of the movie in that video. As I said in my intro, I have made a video about Vanilla Ice before, although it was a long time ago, and it was about his new metal cover of his own breakout song. I said I'd make a review of Cool as Ice in that video, but just haven't gotten around to doing so until now. While we're on this topic, I swear I will make the promised Jedward video eventually. I just have so many video ideas that I want to get out now. The movie begins with something like a music video over the opening credits.
Face the music, then I'm right behind with a posse of mic and a funky rhyme. It doesn't take a lot of time for me to climb, then I'm going for mine like a monkey on a vine.
I'm so glad that I wasn't alive in the 90s if this was what was considered cool. And the fact that his tag is still on his cap is really annoying me. It's gonna keep whacking him in the head every time he moves. Apparently the song, aptly named Cool as Ice, was released as a single and actually peaked at 81 on the Billboard Hot 100. I guess some people really will listen to just about anything, but to be fair, the song is annoyingly catchy. The segment goes on for way too long, but we are finally spared when Johnny, Vanilla Ice's character, leaves the nightclub with his mates. I'm gonna keep calling Johnny Vanilla Ice for the rest of the video, because with all due respect, I can't really see the guy as anybody else. As the group are driving down the road, Johnny races alongside a girl riding a horse, and there's some cheesy 90s slow-mo shots to indicate a romantic connection. That's Kathy, an honors student and Vanilla Ice's romantic interest in this movie. Why did he do that? Why does he then act like he did nothing wrong? Falling off a horse is no joke. I'm surprised she didn't break something.
Yeah, you hit pretty good for a girl.
So one of Vanilla's mates' bike breaks down, and they take it to a shop for repairs. As they're checking out the bike in the middle of the road, which to be fair isn't necessarily their fault, there are a bunch of old people in their cars being all angry and impatient. Vanilla and his mates then just give them an Edward Cullen intimidation look, like all,
"Yeah, old people suck, kids rule."
What the hell kind of sandwich is this? Dude, you might need to see a doctor if you're having these kind of cravings, man. While dancing outside the repair shop, Vanilla sees that Kathy lives just down the road, and she's arguing with her boyfriend who's dropping her off.
Well, which is it, Kathy? Kathy. Cat.
What's with that face? Why does he look like he's trying to rizz us?
Sin City wasn't made for you. Angels like you.
And what's with the haircut? Nick is supposed to be some kind of dork and an asshole, but I think he seems kind of justified here. Some random guy is just approaching his girlfriend and telling her to break up with him? That's just rude. He also pickpockets a book of hers and we're supposed to like him? How did this make it into the movie? This isn't a Clockwork Orange. Why is everything all sped up and weird? My head hurts after watching this. I don't get why this was seen as a good idea. Kathy and her family, and Ice and his friends, catch a report about Kathy's achievements on the news. May I remind you all, they met this morning. Isn't this a little bit strange, or is it just me? Some gangster guys recognize Kathy's dad on TV because he has a past with the mob or something, and so we get our first glance at the villains of the story. I'm still convinced that Vanilla Ice is the true villain. Vanilla Ice and his friends head to a club which Kathy goes to often. So now he's officially stalking her, and I swear his hair just keeps getting worse and worse throughout the movie. Somehow Kathy spots him and finds him attractive here. I guess that rizzing really did work, huh? The clubgoers seem bored, and so Ice and his pals take control of the music and stuff, and Kathy seems like the only person who is actually impressed by any of this.
Fall, and you're all gonna fall. You won't hit it.
Vanilla Ice then dances with Kathy, who's initially reluctant, but he does some weird creepy moves on her, and this also seems to work.
When I make a threat, you bet I keep it like I promise. So shake like a leaf when you see me coming, and frankly, you're better off running.
Nick, feeling humiliated, is understandably mad, but he is very much a pushy asshole here. Kathy walks home by herself, and is followed by a black car, but luckily Vanilla Ice appears on his bike, ready to save the day. I really don't like the amount of Twilight comparisons that I can make with this movie, really not a good sign.
So what's up with tomorrow?
I don't know, man. So what's up with tomorrow?
God, the way he talks sounds like he's struggling. Spit it out, man, are you okay? Do you have something in your mouth? Kathy's dad disapproves, as given the situation their family is in, they can't really trust strangers. Back at the club, Vanilla Ice catches Nick and his mate smashing up a bike, and the writing here is just what you'd expect from this movie.
Not mine. Sir D's. Who's Sir D? My homeboy.
Bad job, Nick. You should at least be sure of whose bike you're smashing up first. And if Ice has left the club, surely he took his bike with him? Use your brains, Nick, you fool. Don't make me root for Ice. Even worse, Nick and his mates try to assault him, but Vanilla takes them all on because he's the coolest guy around. You'd expect him to come out of a hole in the floor next. The next morning, Vanilla Ice fucking breaks into Kathy's house and wakes her up by feeding her ice?
We don't want to wake up Mom and Dad.
I don't like where this is going.
This doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and is super creepy. Was this meant to be a reference to Vanilla Ice's name? And what's with the shoes on the bed? That's not right, especially in someone else's house. Kathy then agrees to go on another ride with Vanilla Ice, against her father's wishes, all over town. They then hang out at a construction site, which is a weird choice of location in my opinion. I'd imagine that it would be sort of dirty? Not very romantic. He also refuses to give her information about himself, which he isn't obligated to, but he already knows quite a bit about her. I can see why her dad would be suspicious. Part of me thinks that Kathy must have hit her head pretty hard when she fell off that horse of hers. When Ice drops Kathy off at her house, her father catches them kissing, and he reveals that Ice sent Nick to the hospital before telling him to stay away from Kathy. He then confesses to Kathy that their family is in danger because he used to be a police officer who got entangled in a case with some corrupt cops. I guess that explains that mess, and that Kathy's dad suspects Ice of being involved. Kathy spurns Ice the next day, but later, Ice agrees to let her little brother have a ride on his bike with him. After Ice drops him home, the boy conveniently gets kidnapped. As his friend's bike has now been repaired, Vanilla Ice prepares to leave town, but goes to Kathy's house to say goodbye. Ice finds a note on their doorstep and hands it to Kathy's dad before leaving, only raising his suspicions more. Inside the envelope is a tape recording that Kathy's brother has made, explaining that the men from the dad's past are holding him up for ransom. Despite Ice being implicated, Kathy insists that he is innocent, which is nice, especially considering that she is right, but given the circumstances, she doesn't really have any reason to believe that he isn't involved. Woman's intuition, I guess? She goes to Ice and his mates just before they leave, and Ice hears the sound of construction in the background of the tape. So that's why they went to the construction site? For some contrived plot point? Well, at least the writers were trying to add some kind of twist. The gang break into the criminals' hideout and rescue Kathy's brother in an epic fight scene that isn't cheesy and over the top in the slightest, I promise. They then return Kathy and her brother home, and the dad thanks Ice, apologizing for suspecting him. Kathy and her new man, Vanilla Ice, uses Nick's car as a ramp before riding off into the sunset, and finally, at last, the movie ends. Sadly, we do get another overly 90s music video which goes on for almost 4 minutes before the credits roll. This definitely isn't the worst movie ever by a long shot, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you were ready for an overload of concentrated 90s-ness. I thought I knew exactly what I was getting before making this review, yet somehow this movie still surprised me. I knew that it was going to be somewhat corny and trashy, but I wasn't expecting Vanilla Ice's character to come across as so creepy. Like I said, the Edward Cullen comparisons are uncanny. In essence, Johnny's character comes across as if you took the guys from the Top That scene from Teen Witch and just centered an entire movie around a character based on them. The writers want you to think that this guy is the coolest guy to ever walk the earth, but it's done so unnaturally that the writing really does the opposite effect. The whole film is horribly dated as well, full of trends and cliches that I'm certain weren't really considered that cool back in the day either. I didn't include every forced dance segment in this movie, but there are quite a few of them, and the strange sped up segment towards the beginning of the film never happens again after it ends. It makes no sense. And who begins and ends a film with an entire music video? Well, that's all for this video. Be sure to follow me on social media as they are all linked in my description box. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Nothing like a polo to ease my mind. With polos by my side, I'll always shine. The blue and green ones are my favorite kind, but I'll eat the colored ones from time to time. Cause polos is life, polos is life, polos is life, polos is life.